Hello and welcome back everyone for our English session. Till now, we have completed two prose lessons from Flamingo and two poems. We have also discussed about figure of speech and all. Uh, Today, we shall begin with one interesting lesson, Deep Water, third lesson from Flamingo. It is going to be an interesting story, or you'll at least learn something related to human nature when we'll go further and study about this lesson. I want you, all of you, to study it very carefully and enjoy the story, enjoy the different experience the author faces throughout the story. Somewhere as kids, we have also experienced such type of things in our life. Somewhere or another, we have some sort of fear. So this entire lesson, Deep Water, deals with fear phobia. Actually, the author, William Douglas, was suffering from hydrophobia, fear of water, and that's why we have the title, The Deep Water. Stay tuned with me till I share a file with you, and we shall proceed further with this lesson. Hope you'll be able to see on your screen whatever I have said. In the beginning, I have already told you this lesson is titled as Deep Water. Actually, the entire story revolves around the water. Author's various experience he has described in this particular story. Actually, he was suffering from hydrophobia. Actually, he had extreme fear of water. Uh, Fear factor may vary from person to person. Here also in this story, the author describes his extreme fear of water. Some of you may have fear of height. Some of you may have fear of seeing excessive sight of water. So we do face that degree of fear somewhere, and uh, it varies from person to person. Means all of us may not fear from the water, but some may fear from water, some may fear from fire and all. Let us look into the life of William Douglas. William Douglas, 1898 to 1980, was born in Mane, Minnesota. After graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in English and Economics, he spent 2 years teaching high school in Yakima. He spent 2 years in teaching in the high school in Yakima. So you can regard him as a teacher too. And this line you have to remember. He spent 2 years teaching high school in Yakima. However, after that, he got retired of this and decided to pursue a legal career. He met Franklin D. Roosevelt at Yale and became an advisor and friend to the president. All of you might have heard this name, Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was the president of America. And this William Douglas, he became an advisor and a friend to President Roosevelt. So from that, you can come to know that how big this personality is. He is not an ordinary man. He spent his time with someone who was the president, President Roosevelt. And not only that, he was his advisor. So we are going to read a story about someone who spent his time with President himself. Douglas was a leading advocate of uh, individual rights. He retired in 1975 with a term lasting 30 years and remains the longest serving justice in the history of the court. He was the longest serving justice in the history that you need to remember. The following excerpt is taken from his book of Man and Mountains by William Douglas. Now this you need to remember also when you write question and answer. So some of the extra information if you want to add, then you can also say that this particular story excerpt is taken from Of Man and Mountain by William Douglas. So that will create a more versatility in your writing. You'll have some additional information too. So this is all will be beneficial for you if you have some extra information. In this essay, he talks about his fear of water and then after how he finally overcame it. There are certain things, dear students, in our life which frightens us. And throughout the life, we always feel uncanny fear for that. Here also, William Douglas felt fear of water, but he did not surrender it. He tried his best to come out of his fear of water. And this we will see and study in this lesson. What are the efforts he applied to overcome his fear of water? It was a long, wearisome struggle. He struggled from childhood till the adulthood, and ultimately, with his successive effort, he was able to succeed. He was able to conquer his fear of water. Dear students, if you have fear of water, this is a lesson that you can read and get motivated yourself. Because those who have fear of water, they may not be able to look at the sight of the sea. They may not be able to enjoy in the swimming pool. Just sight of water makes us frightened. This William Douglas also had some sort of aversion, disliking for the water, but he did not surrender. From the childhood, he made various efforts. Through his strong, determined efforts, he was able to conquer his fear. That ultimately, at the end of the story, we will see how he becomes the best swimmer in the water. So this is an inspirational, motivational story. Sometimes, we subdue or surrender to the certain uncanny fear, and we never try to come out of those uncanny fear. But this William Douglas gives here to all of us an inspiration how what are the things can be done so that we can overcome our uncanny fear of some unknown things. When the story starts, Douglas in the beginning shares with us some of his childhood experience. Uh, it had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. William Douglas was 10 or 11 years old, and then he decided to swim. He wanted to learn swimming. The place where he was living, that place name is Yakima. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. YMCA is a club. They have created a pool in Yakima, and many people used to go there and learn swimming there. So if you want to learn swimming, rather than going into the pond and river and the sea directly, it's better that you try it at least on the swimming pool. because it is much safer. There may be trainers, there may be presence of the people, and as a result, there is no danger to our life. So this YMCA pool was there in Yakima. Since he wanted to learn swimming, he decided to go there. They also had a river in Yakima, and that river is also called Yakima River. Here it is given. Yakima River was there, but that river was very treacherous. Treacherous means unpredictable. Unpredictable, you never know what can happen into the river, because he heard previously many people had drowned in the river, and as a result he did not want to risk his life in that river. So all opportunities are there with William Douglas, but he was little bit afraid of directly exposing himself to the river. He decided to go to YMCA pool. Other than that, the mother had also warned him to go directly, not to go directly to the Yakima River, because river was treacherous, and she had also informed William Douglas about drowning of various people. Many people had drowned there, and that stories really frightened him. So he can't risk his life. And as a result, he decided to go to the YMCA pool. He thought that YMCA pool was safe. It was shallow, not so much of water, that it might have depth, but to the deeper end. Now, pool, all of you might have seen it. Pool is made in a such a way where small children as well as adult people, grown up people can also swim in the swimming pool. To the shallow end, it is not so deep. To the deeper end, it is made in such a way where even the grown-ups can swim. So, pool is designed for all sorts of people. So, from small children to the grown-up people. So, this pool at shallow end was only 3 feet deep. 3 feet is nothing. Kids can try learning swimming there, and trainers presence will be there. So under the supervision of trainer, there is no danger that anyone can get drowned there. And at the deeper end, the pool was 9 feet deep. So to the shallow end, shallow means not so much presence of water. Shallow end only 3 feet deep, and deeper end it was 9 feet deep. All of you must have spool in a slanting position. I mean, uh, from the beginning side you'll find depth not so much. To the deeper end, as you go further into the pool, it is slanting, and as a result that towards the deeper end it was very deep. I mean 9 feet deep. As a kids of 10 or 12 years old, the child's height may be around about 3 and 3.5 feet, or probably 4 feet if he is healthy and all. So 3 feet deep is not so much so deep you can consider. Another problem William Douglas had was that he was very skinny. Since he was very skinny, he felt little bit shy. Those who are healthy, they can open up their body, I mean, show their muscles to the people, just like an exhibition. See, I am so much healthy. But here, William Douglas was very skinny. Those who are very thin and lean and skinny, they feel very much afraid. Yeah, they are afraid of people, what the people will think about themselves. So here William Douglas had skinny legs, another difficulty. He was feeling inferior about people. What will they think about him? And he did not feel motivated to remove his clothes and go inside the water because he didn't look so much healthy, skinny legs. But he was determined to learn swimming. So if he had to learn swimming, obviously he had to remove his clothes and jump inside the pool. But at last he subdued his pride. But I subdued my pride. This is idioms and praise. Subdued my prize. Pride means I overcame my uh, self-esteem. Sometimes we don't think in terms of our own self-esteem or prestige. Sometimes you have to let go of your pride. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि कुछ समय के लिए किसी ना किसी वक्त आपको अपना ईगो साइड पे रख देना होता है if you want to learn something. So here if he will not remove the clothes and think about his pride and all, then he will never learn it. So he decided to not to think about his pride and go inside the water and try to learn swimming. Let us see in the next paragraph. Uh, Actually, this all he describes when he was 10 or 11 years old. William Douglas also takes us to his early childhood. From this is about 10 or 11-year old, but now he will take us to the time when he was merely 2 or 3 years old. He says that from the beginning he had some sort of disliking, aversion. He had some sort of disliking to the water. And he says that his disliking or irritations from the water started when he was 3 or 4 years old. It is clearly mentioned. So sometimes you have to relate with the story. I mean, the author in the beginning starts talking about when he was 10 or 11 years old. Now he is taking us deep into the past when he was merely 3 or 4 years old. And here, when he was 3 or 4 years old, his father had taken him into the beach of California. Now, अगर आपको सिंपल वे में बताना है तो जब विलियम डगलास स्टोरी की बात कर रहे हैं तो वो 10 और 11 इयर्स ओल्ड थे. अभी जो वो पास्ट की कैसे उनको वाटर से डर लगने लगा वो पहले से डिटेल में बताने जा रहे हैं. ही इज टेलिंग अस दैट व्हेन ही वाज 3 or 4 years old something happened and as a result he started having hydrophobia, fear of water. He was 3 or 4 years old and his father had taken him on the beach of California. If you have seen on TV or might have heard in certain magazines or newspaper, then people generally go for surfing. On they have a surfboard. On the surfing, a person stands and passes through the gigantic waves. It is really adventurous. The father was very much adventurous, so he decided to do the surfing on the surfboard on the beach. So since he decided to do the surfing there, and this William Douglas, he was 3 or 4 years old, what father did, father also took him with on the surfboard. So both William Douglas and father, they were surfing together, means on the one boat. William Douglas, you can imagine he was 3 or 4 years old, and too much of water bodies he was surrounded with. And as a result, the childish uncanny fear will definitely come. So he had that uncanny fear of the sight of the water, and uh, they were surfing and sliding on the body of water on the surfboard. So that really frightened him. Not only that, something happened. I hung I hung to my father. He says, I hung to him, yet the waves knocked me down and swept over me. People passing through the gigantic waves in the sea on the surfboard, and they are doing adventurous thing. Grown up people can definitely do that, trained people can do that, but if you are quite new and doing it for the first time, then obviously you will stumble, you will be carried away by the big waves. The same thing happened. Father was really experienced, but the child here, I mean William Douglas, was not so much experienced, and as a result, what happened? Huge waves knocked them down, and too much of water sprinkle on their body. They fell down into the water body. And here William Douglas says that he was buried into the water. No doubt, he was with father, but still, fear is a fear. If you go inside the deep water, 3 or 4 year old boy will definitely cry for mom. So my breath was gone at that time. He says he became breathless. Even if I throw a glass of water at you suddenly without knowing you, you will become breathless and you try gasping your breath. A similar thing happened with William Douglas too. He was frightened. He was frightened, but his father was in a mood of musty. The father simply laughed. And but there was this is the time from there William Douglas had developed an aversion for water, some sort of disliking for the water. And this fear stayed from here onwards with him for a lifetime. So this is the event that took place in when he was 3 or 4 years old. The author is starting this story when he was 10 or 11 years old. So these all details you have to remember it very carefully. I know that sometimes when we watch a serial or a movie, the director takes back us into the past. So this is the present. Now from here, he took us to the deep past. The story within a story means event after another, and how he developed the fear phobia. All this he is describing in detail. Now, certain things to remember for all of you. There will come many idioms and phrases inside the lesson. So here, very treacherous, very treacherous. Now, see students, in your exam, you will be given a sentence like this, and there will be a use of idioms and phrase. So there in the sentence will come idioms or phrase like this: was treacherous. And you will be asked in the exam to replace the idioms and phrase with the correct meaning. So you have to rewrite the entire sentence, but now you have to select a proper meaning for those idioms and phrase from the three options. Options will be given there in the bracket. So here William Douglas decided to learn to swim at YMCA in the Yakima River, but she was very unpredictable. Here C is used for the river, Yakima River. So meaning of treacherous is replaced by unpredictable word. Another example is given here. I hated to walk naked into the pool, but I subdued my pride. Now, here I subdued my pride. We have three possible meaning given here. So we have to replace now with proper meaning. I hated to walk naked into the pool, but I lowered intensity of my self-respect. You know, students, he was feeling some sort of inferior when he had to remove his clothes and go into the water in presence of many people. But he did not think about his self-esteem. He did not think about his pride, but he decided to go inside the water. So hope whatever is discussed till now, you are really in it. I mean, you got whatever I wanted to say. You know, sometimes stories we can enjoy. There are so many things to learn when we go with the story. Means if you say, oh, it's boring, I can't, understand what the author want to say. It's your approach that makes something interesting, and it is the same approach that makes a thing quite boring. If you take it with a keen purpose that I am going to crack it, I am going to go in between the line, I am going to touch the meaning which the author has written, or I am going to get the theme or the motivation which the author has kept for me. So read each and every story with that purpose, and you are really going to enjoy it. Even in the essays too, sometimes there are big narrative essays. We find that why so many boring articles and all. Nothing is here without purpose. Author in each and everything has kept a purpose. I mean, this lesson will also inspire you to overcome your uncanny fear. You know, most of the students these days, they have a fear of examination. So you can take in the context of fear of examination and get motivated how you can, or what are the different things you can do to overcome your fear of examination. So this is about water, but we can take in the context of the fear of examination too. So then let us come back to the time when he was 10 or 11 years old. He says that he went to YMCA pool, but when he was about to start his swimming into the YMCA pool, his old memories revived. Means whatever happened when he was 3 or 4 years old, that really frightened him. Those memory became fresh in his mind. कई बार हमारे साथ भी ऐसा होता है कि हम कुछ नया करने चाहते हैं, लेकिन पास्ट में हमारे साथ कुछ बुरा हुआ होता है, और उसकी वजह से हमें ऐसा लगता है कि ओ माय गॉड, व्हाट इफ दैट सेम थिंग इज गोइंग टू रिपीट. यहाँ विलियम डगलास के साथ सेम चीज हो रही थी कि 3-4 बरस के थे तब जो बुरा उनके साथ हुआ था, पानी के अंदर चले गए थे सर्फ बोर्ड में से, तो उस समय की बैड मेमोरी उनको याद आती है. द चाइल्डहुड फियर revived once again. But now he was 10 or 11 years old. He gathered some confidence to swim in the swimming pool in YMCA. He had swimming costumes like water wings and other needed things for the swimming. There were some another boys also who were swimming there in the swimming pool. So initially he was apping them. Apping. What is the meaning of apping? Apping means copying. In the beginning, he was copying them. Whatever the other boys were doing, he was literally trying to learn from their side. The way they were learning swimming, other boys, he was copying them. He did this 3 or 4 times on a different days, and gradually his fear started to become ease out, means he started feeling comfortable. When he started feeling comfortable after 2 or 3 days, then suddenly a misadventure happened with him. You know, sometimes in Gujarati we say, Ek sadhane ter tute. Sometimes we are trying to overcome our fear and something strange happens again, and we feel that, oh God, why me again? So here, when he was learning swimming at the YMCA pool again, some strange things happens with him. Uh, One day on the YMCA pool, he was early. I mean, he went early. There was nobody. The place was quiet. The water was silent, still, because nobody was inside the pool, and there was nobody in fact. The tile bottom looked very white. There was no disturbance in the water. It looked white and clean as a bathtub, and he was feeling timid. Timid means coward, fearful. He was not having that much confidence to go himself into the water. And since he was alone, he did not have that courage to go inside the water. He thought, let one or two people come. Once the people will go inside, then he will jump inside the swimming pool. Till then, he decided to sit by the side of the swimming pool. Nice thing, I mean. That is a good thing. If you do not have a confidence, then at least wait for the others. If something strange happens with you, then at least other can save you. So he was quietly sitting beside the pool. He was thus waiting. Suddenly, a big bruiser of a boy, probably 18 years old, came there. Big bruiser of a boy. You can take it in the sense of a cadaver boy. Very healthy boy, strong boy. He was big in body. Now here we know that William Douglas was only 11 or 12 years old. I mean, 10 or 11 years old. And this boy who came here was 18 years old. Sometimes this happens with you in the school also, right? Small children are being harassed by the big children. कई बार स्कूल में ऐसा होता रहता है. I know that you are quite sincere and you are well disciplined, but you might have seen on the TV or serial or movies कि स्कूल में रैगिंग वगैरह होता है. बड़े लोग के द्वारा, सीनियर लोग के द्वारा छोटे लोग यानी नए लोग का रैगिंग होता है. So here a boy of 18 years old did some mischievous thing with William Douglas. He had thick hair on his chest. He was beautiful physical specimen. His body was looking like a Salman's body, very healthy in body. There are some packs on his body. Nice, beautiful specimen of physics, we can say. There are ripples on his muscles too. We seen a six pack and all. He might be going to the gym and doing exercise and all. And as a result, there are ripples on his body. He came in his musti. He came in his musti. In naughtiness, he says, he yelled. Yell means shouted, screamed. And he said, hi, skinny. How would you like to be ducked? He said in a funny way, and with that he picked up William Douglas and threw him inside the water. ये 18-year-old लड़का आया, उसने विलियम डगलास को साइड में देखा बैठे हुए। तो ये 18-year-old बॉय को पता नहीं था कि विलियम डगलास को स्विमिंग नहीं आता है। He is trying to learn there, but he suddenly came and he said, मैं अगर तुमको पानी में डालूंगा तो कैसा रहेगा? Hi skinny, how would you like to be ducked? And with that he picked up William Douglas and threw him inside the water. And we know, if we do not know the swimming and suddenly we are thrown into the swimming pool or some water bodies, how will we feel? So similar feeling William Douglas also had. He did not know in the beginning what to do. He was thrown inside the swimming pool. He picked him and tossed him into the deep water. William Douglas did not know that this was going to happen with him. So he was not ready. Otherwise, there are different techniques to jump inside the swimming pool. People jump from the height, but they jump in a curving position, slanting positions. They jump very swiftly so that the water may not hurt them, but he was here thrown very awkwardly inside the water. As soon as he went inside the water, he swallowed the water. He went to the bottom of the water. He did not learn the tricks of how to breathe in and breathe out into the water. अभी तो उसने वो सीखा ही नहीं था. और water हमको पता है towards the deep end, it was 9 feet deep. He was literally frightened, but he still had certain tricks. He was not frightened out of his wits. He was not frightened out of his wits का मतलब होता है कि there are some thought process going on in his mind. उसने सोचा कि चलो मुझे यहाँ पानी में तो डाल दिया गया है, लेकिन I can do something to come out of this water. He planned something inside the water. He thought when his feet would hit the bottom, he would make a big jump and try to come out on the surface. उसने पहले तो सोचा कि जब मेरे फीट जमीन यानी बॉटम को पूल के बॉटम को टच करते हैं, then he will gather all his energy and try to make a big jump, and then he will try to come out of this pool. But ऐसा तो होता नहीं है, right? When you are put awkwardly into the pool and there is no way that you can gather energy all of a sudden, right? So we all are not Bahubalis. Bahubalis can do that. They can climb the mountain and all in a one song. He is not Bahubali. He thought in his mind that he is going to do this, but life is not so easy. Certain things are not so easy. He planned in his mind, but whether he succeeds or not, we are going to discuss whatever happens afterwards, the struggle to come out of the water and the various tricks he did and plan inside the water. It is a long struggle. The author describes this long struggle. I mean, 3-4 paragraphs are given about his struggle to come out of the water. Obviously, we are going to learn rest of the things in the next videos too, because we are having around about 40 minutes only to make this video. So I am winding up this story up to here. Next session, for the next video, you will see we will continue this story from here onwards. So hope whatever is being taught till now you had understood it. William Douglas had a bad experience when he was 3 or 4 years old. He went to the beach on California. On the surfboard, he was with his father, and suddenly a big waves thrown them inside the water, and that really frightened him. Then when he was 10 or 11 years old, he decided to learn swimming at YMCA pool. At YMCA pool, why? Because mother warned him that not to go to the river because many people have drowned in the river. Then he came to the YMCA pool on first day, second day, third day. He started gathering confidence, and then suddenly misadventure happened. When he was all alone on the pool, one big boy, bruiser of a boy, comes and throws him inside the water. We will continue this story in the next video. Till then, it's a goodbye from me. Do read this story, and we shall meet with rest of the story. We shall meet in the next video. Till then, it's a goodbye from me. Have a wonderful day.